I figured I'd go live here for about, I might have about 10 minutes. It's probably more than what I would have gotten from News Channel 3 in Memphis anyways. So I'm going to let it spool up for a second. I'm on the way to the hospital to go visit my child right now. And I'll let you know what this live stream is about, but I will tell you that it's about corruption, and it's corruption at its finest. I hope everybody's doing all right today. Hey, please hit the share button at the bottom left of your phone. I believe there's a share button. Please share this live stream, invite people onto it, because this is stuff that we as citizens need to stay well on top of, well informed of. All right, I'm not here to play any type of victim card on things that have happened, but I'm here to get the truth out. The truth that needs to be said, the truth that needs to be known. Many of y'all and a lot of people that have come onto this page didn't realize what happened last May. But May 1st, I was standing in front of the Confederate statue in Oxford, Mississippi on the square, on public property, holding a state flag with a gun on my hip, as I'm legally allowed to do in Mississippi, being a constitutional carry state. And I was arrested for disorderly conduct for not having a permit, for questioning the officer, for asking the officer what his badge number was that was requiring a permit for me to stand on public property, which directly goes against the First Amendment. This officer was not wearing a badge, by the name of Timmy Pruitt. And I've posted a couple of things in regards to that since then. Fact of the matter is, Lafayette County opened themselves up to tremendous amounts of liability when that video went viral. And May 26th, I was targeted. It was a witch hunt charge by Lafayette County. Y'all, those that tuned in, please share this video. That's all I ask. May 26th, it was my mother-in-law's birthday. I was cornered in by Lafayette County and arrested on a charge that I was not told what the charge was until I got to the jail. And there found out it was they called it aggravated stalking, what was really aggravated cyber stalking. You know, these are the cheap hits that conservatives take when dealing with liberals. You know, it's cheap shots. All in all, it came down to the liability that was exposed on Lafayette County when everything happened. I sat in jail for 4 days before I got a bond hearing on this. I had a well-prepared statement to read the judge, which would have exonerated me from what I was charged with, because the fact of the matter is, the affidavit said on or before May the 8th, I put this party in reasonable fear of their life using an AR-15, that I have proof beyond a reasonable doubt that I didn't purchase the AR-15 until May the 20th. Completely fabricated, completely political, every essence of a witch hunt charge that you could even fathom. And May 30th, I go before Justice Court. I thought it would be Judge Mickey Avent because he was the one that signed off on the affidavit. It was Judge Carolyn Bell that was the judge presiding over the case, and I would find that out a little later. A sheriff's deputy, and I'm not going to mention his name, but it will be in the report that's filed with the Committee for Judicial Performance, went to the back, and I know he met with Judge Carolyn Bell behind closed doors before both of them coming out, Judge Bell refused to hear my statement that I had prepared, which would have exonerated me. If nothing else, I understand that she's not the jury. But if nothing else, I should have been given a very small bond. Nothing like what was given. But instead, she constantly told me that I had the right to remain silent, even though I chose not to exercise that right. Kept telling me that I had the right to remain silent. Wouldn't let me read my statement. Immediately issued a bond of $150,000 that was reported on by the Oxford Eagle widely, that 10% of it in cash was due, $15,000, and the other $135,000 was owed in collateral prior to me being released to await trial. So in essence, that's a $150,000 cash bond, which in essence is $1.5 million bond, seeing that 10% is normally required to get out. Keep in mind, as I said, this is a charge that I could have proven my innocence from the beginning. She could have heard my statement and issued a normal bond, and I could have awaited trial to prove my innocence, but that was not the case. Case study after case study, or case law, has come up since then. Bonds set by Lafayette County. More recently, a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, there was a guy that was arrested in Oxford, Mississippi, that was charged with aggravated kidnapping and rape. He went before Judge Carolyn Bell and was given a $10,000 bond on each of those two charges. $20,000 to get out, a regular bond where $2,000 was required to get somebody charged with aggravated kidnapping and rape out of jail. And it's very, very clear to see that you have a very liberal judge in a very liberal city that views a patriot, a Marine Corps veteran, looks at him as 100 times worse than she does a kidnapper and a rapist, all because he carries a flag and a gun that does not conform to the liberal values of Lafayette County. I had a crooked attorney in this case. Took a while for my family to find an attorney that would actually pick this up. Surprisingly, defense attorney that would represent me, even knowing the facts. And it's because of the people that were connected to this case. High-level people that were connected to this case that wanted nothing more than to keep me silent, to remove the liability from Lafayette County, and to ultimately get me gone from Lafayette County. This attorney's name was Brennan Horan, out of Horn Lake, Mississippi. This attorney knew that I didn't purchase the weapon in question until May 20th. Knew that there was no possible way that I could have committed the crime in question. Consistently told myself and my family that I was being held ultimately as a political prisoner, that these were political charges. Steadily was asking for more and more money, even though he didn't show up and didn't do a thing for me. Represented me in a restraining order hearing where, honestly, any decent attorney could have beat the restraining order against me. The high-profile people that put this restraining order against me, he decided to cave and have me plea out to taking a full-on life restraining order against. Can't mention those people. That was held against me. He convinced me to take a plea deal. And I did honestly what any other person would have done that had a 2-year-old, a toddler to raise, that had a job to work, a living to provide. Staying in jail for an extended amount of time, a year and a half awaiting trial, can easily result in an institutionalized mentality. Easily. It's not a long shot to see that, folks. But he was nudging me the entire time. while they were reading me the plea. Did you put these people in fear of their life on May 8th, 2017 with an AR-15 assault rifle? I had to agree to this stuff. And I was under tremendous amounts of stress, tremendous amounts of duress. Especially knowing that without a doubt I was innocent of the crimes that I was being charged with. But told me that if I didn't take the plea, if I didn't plea out, that just like this charge, they were going to stack additional charges on me. Fake charges. To try to throw the book at me. To try to imprison me for as long as they could possibly imprison me for. Here recently in Oxford, a couple of months back, there was a girl that was killed at the Burger King parking lot in Oxford. She was shot by a friend in the backseat of the car. It was like an involuntary manslaughter charge that they charged him with. Gave him a $10,000 bond for discharging a firearm, shooting her, and killing her. A $10,000 bond. Then you have this more recent case of the kidnapping and the rape. $10,000 on each charge, $20,000 total. But here, a patriot, a Marine Corps veteran that's never had any kind of significant criminal history, other than he stood up for his rights, he stood up for the flag, gets charged with this, and given a $150,000 cash bond by a crooked judge in Lafayette County that should never be on the bench. Never. Never should preside over another case in Lafayette County. Period. That is a clear violation of my 8th Amendment rights for unreasonable bail. Part of the sentencing for this charge with my plea deal was me getting banished from Lafayette County for 5 years for the sentence of my probation. That is another clear violation of my 8th Amendment rights on cruel and unusual punishment that does not fit the crime. I've lost so many constitutional rights over the last year, it makes my head spin. My First Amendment rights weren't granted to me May 1st when I was arrested for standing on public property. My Second Amendment rights were taken away from me when everything happened. My Fourth Amendment rights to unlawful search and seizure taken away from me whenever I was locked up, whenever I was awaiting trial, when this same judge that refused to listen to my statement and set an unfair and unreasonable bond issued a search and seizure warrant to seize my car and my personal belongings so that they could try to drag up anything and everything they could on me. And for that reason, and I've got to get inside, folks, for that reason, I am filing a complaint. And I've got it filled out, ready to go. News Channel 3 wanted to back out of the interview for unknown reasons after they contacted me on Friday. For that reason, I am filing this complaint with the Committee for Judicial Performance, the Mississippi Committee for Judicial Performance, on Judge Carolyn Bell. She never deserves to draw another check from the state to reside over another case in judicial law because everything that she did went against her judicial code, and I will show this in this complaint. That's all I've got for you. Please share this live stream because other people deserve to know the truth. I've got other things that I'll touch on in regards to this, but I'm fired up. I'm furious. This stuff has to stop. Okay? I'm not going to sit back and be silent. Lafayette County already made me sign a covenant to not sue. The Lafayette County, the Sheriff's Department, the alleging party, or the city of Oxford. What does that tell you? It tells you there's liability galore. So if anybody out here knows an attorney that can help me out in this situation, I've got about 2 months that I need to make something happen. I would really prefer, or I'd really appreciate if somebody would get in touch with me and put an attorney that would love to help me in touch with me. I appreciate it. Share this live stream. Y'all take care. I got to go see my daughter.